And good morning to you. Friday the 13th.
It is.
It is. I think down in Port Dover, by the way, there'll probably be more motorcyclists than February 13th.
Yeah.
It felt like minus 30.
Ghost town.
We were speaking of fog there. Fog from the Battlefords in Saskatchewan down to Estevan's southwestern areas of Manitoba near zero visibility. Here are our big stories today.
Weather impacts travel to the U.S. if you're headed there for a March break. Officially 7 days until spring. Can you tell I'm excited? And another storm is headed to you in Atlantic Canada. So here's what's happening today. This is not the big storm. We do have extreme cold warnings in place for northern Peninsula East. Feels like minus 35. And Chris, there are snow squall warnings in place here in the Maritimes for a very quick 5 to 10 centimeters of snow.
Narrow bands, but poor visibility. Antigonish, Guysborough, Kings and Queens County in PEI. All right, let's talk about what's coming as well. We've got the storm system on the way, and part of it is in Ontario right now, because this is a two-part storm for the Maritimes. But we've got from Kenora to Gogama, so including Sault Ste. Marie and all the shores there of Lake Superior, risk of freezing rain, and it'll be patchy in the northwest, more sustained in the northeast. Kirkland Lake, New Liskeard over towards Temiskaming. Today and tomorrow, Nicole, 25 centimeters of snow. I mean, come on, we're supposed to be getting ready for spring.
Oh, boy. Well, more spring-like here in the prairies where we have the fog riding over the cooler surfaces. We've got Saskatoon over towards Regina. Melitta's included as well, so that will be ongoing this morning. And there are snowfall warnings in the north.
That's right. Mayo, another 10 to 15 centimeters of snow through the day. And
we're going to be adding more to that this weekend. Starting Saturday evening, a system moves in, so get everything ready before that. White is where we're seeing the most, 20 centimeters or more. The Avalon gets it Sunday night.
So you'll notice southern areas of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia.
You might be using a little more Eucerin today than usual in St. John's, Newfoundland. Minus 13 for the daytime high. You are in purple because it is cold, well below average, feeling closer to minus 24. Toronto's plus 4, and it's warmer in the west. We begin this Friday the 13th with our Storm Watch coverage. Glad you could join us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Today we do have some warnings in place, but this is not the big storm you have to worry about. There are extreme cold warnings in place for the northern peninsula east, so St. Anthony feeling closer to the minus 30s this morning, and it's really cold in the Avalon as well, even though you're not in the warning. We do have here some snow squall warnings in place for Kings County. Antigonish as well is included, so quick 5 to 10 centimeters on the way today. But you get a clear day tomorrow before this storm moves in, bringing us heavy amounts of snow through the Maritime provinces. New Brunswick, you're about 30 centimeters away from being the all-time record for snow this winter. So we'll see what happens this weekend and what happens as we roll out the season. Two lows are meeting up, so this is a low flow causing some problems stateside today with a low crossing Canada. So that's what's bringing you all the snow in New Brunswick. It's cold enough for all snow, by the way. And then Monday morning is when you're still going to see that snow in Newfoundland and Labrador. Hopefully you're going away for March break in the east, getting a nice break from the active weather, and then you won't be there next week. We do have Pembroke seeing some snow at this point. It's moving into Ottawa with just some light flurries this morning. That changes over to heavier snow and a rain-snow mix in Ottawa, in fact. Montreal, you will be getting about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow into tomorrow. South of Val-d'Or, snowfall warning. Kirkland Lake, snowfall warning. And unfortunately, Sault Ste. Marie over towards Kenora, there are freezing rain warnings in effect. So some tricky travel in the north. Let's head outside to Mike Arsenault, who's joining us on his way to Horseshoe Valley. Mike, you're going to have some fun today. Show us and tell us what you're doing. That's right. Thanks so much, Mike. And as you can see here, there is warm and cold air in place across Ontario. Anything in green is where we're seeing rain. So yeah, Thunder Bay, you're getting the rain. But north of that, because we're just around that freezing mark, you're going to see the freezing rain this morning. And then northeastern Ontario, Wawa, even towards the Nickel Belt, it'll be more persistent freezing rain as the day goes on. And Kirkland Lake, 20 to 30 centimeters of snow through Saturday. Sudbury, about 5 to 10. Ottawa, you're in the 5 to 10. But again, you're going to see slushy, messy snow mixing in with a bit of rain, so those numbers will be adjusted accordingly. And Montreal 5 to 10, Quebec City 5 to 10 as well. Okay, so a lot of people are going on their March break in Ontario, PEI, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland and Labrador, possibly leaving today. If you're headed stateside, do keep in mind there are some thunderstorms for Mississippi as Our Storm Watch begins right now, setting it up with a conversation about the cold temperatures in the east, and then we'll talk about who's seeing snow in Atlantic Canada.
Yeah, well, the rest of the country is enjoying or experiencing some spring-like conditions. Frigid temperatures, winds out of the northwest. We even had some snow squalls periodically here, narrow bands, but through Cape Breton, possibly Antigonish, PEI, and wind chills in Newfoundland in the -20s, even the -30s up towards the northern peninsula.
That's right. Take a look at you, St. John's. -13, feeling closer to -24.
Yes.
So that's some of the coldest air you've seen all season. And then the snow, Chris, anything in white seeing the most. So potentially up to 20 centimeters or more. And then it hits the Avalon Peninsula.
Yeah, there was still a little bit of model discrepancy, but it's looking more like a hit than a miss. So before we get there, just so the two storms going to merge together. So Saturday night into Sunday. It looks like Sunday will be the big day in the Maritimes. Sunday night, Monday, Newfoundland. So this could be travel impact worthy, certainly. There's still a chance, a small chance. It may not be a huge impact, but at this point, all signs are pointing towards that. Meanwhile, we'll talk about the systems that are impacting Ontario ice. It's has been a very pleasant week in Ottawa, but today temperatures going to be around -2, and you're going to get into some flurries later in the day. Montreal. The big story right now is northern Ontario with the risk of freezing rain from the Superior Shores towards Sudbury, North Bay, Manitoulin, north of there, Geraldton, Armstrong, potentially 10, maybe 20 centimeters of snow.
That's right. So the forecast through to Saturday, big spot right here, 20 to 30 centimeters in white. Sudbury seeing about the 5 to 10 centimeter range, and Montreal and Ottawa in that 5 to 10 centimeter range, but Ottawa is going to be flirting with the freezing line, so you will see some mixing. Snow changing over to mix of a rain-snow mix.
Yeah, it's like coming off a bad relationship. You're going to bounce back, but you're going to be bouncing back and forth for a little while.
Exactly.
Northern Manitoba, 2 to 5 centimeters of snow. Temperatures near Thompson around 0, but Winnipeg, you're going to be pleasant today. Watch the fog this morning, though, anywhere from the Battlefords to Estevan and even southwestern areas of Manitoba.
That's right. Let's take you next to this, Chris. People, of course, in the east, Ontario, PEI, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador, March break next week. So if you are driving today, look at the forecast down south.
Yeah, I would say today, if you're leaving, I-95 might be a better route, because I-75, you run into some rain and potential powerful thunderstorms down the Gulf State. Tomorrow, most of this will move eastwards, so the day tomorrow will be better for I-75, but today, watch for some wet conditions.
That's right.
It's been 2 months.
The conditions have not been great.
Yeah, absolutely. So this evening, 9 degrees, so it's going to be very, very mild. And then tomorrow evening, of course, for the big event, looking at very mild conditions.
Stay with us. Storm Watch continues. We'll go over all the watches and warnings coming up. Thanks for joining us, Nicole and Chris, with you on this Friday the 13th. A lot is going on.
Yeah.
And for the weather here, we're showing you Ontario's radar. Blue is the snow, but pink popping up here, Chris, and that's where we're seeing that freezing rain. Also, some rain moving in as well.
A little unlucky in parts of northern Ontario and into Quebec as well. So freezing rain warnings from Kenora eastwards, not Thunder Bay, but eastwards all the way towards Gogama, Sault Ste. Marie. Patchy in the northwest, a little more persistent in the northeast, and then Kirkland Lake, New Liskeard area, Temiskaming, Quebec, you are under snowfall warnings.
And that's how much snow we're going to get. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But right now, we're joined by Mike Arsenault. And Mike, I understand you're going to try cross-country skiing today, which you have never tried before. And I'm wondering, are you worried you're going to maybe be bad at one thing in your life?
Well, thank you, Nicole. We'll see about that. I don't know. I have to get on the skis here.
All right, by the way, we're setting the over-under at 3 falls this morning. 3 falls over-under for Mike Arsenault. It's probably going to be under. He's probably going to be a pro out there.
Obviously.
All right. So heaviest snow, we're talking about widespread 10 to 15 centimeters of snow in the north. However, tomorrow on the backside of the system, look at this, a little bit of snow potentially around some of the ski hills in southern Ontario, maybe even the northern GTA.
And Ottawa, 5 centimeters, but rain-snow mix at times. Our storm watch starts now for the east. If you can be that excited about winter, you're going to get through this weekend, no problem. We do have for today an extreme cold warning for St. Anthony. It feels closer to the -30s. And we've got the snow squall warnings here, Chris. And Antigonish has seen about 20 centimeters of snow with this band. So localized reduced visibility.
Absolutely. Now this next map, just want to explain it here to show you. Now this is more of an impact map as opposed to total snowfall. So the areas in white is where we believe the best chance you can see approximately 20 centimeters of snow. It begins Saturday night, it lasts through Sunday, and then you'll see in the dark blue that's a moderate risk of 20 centimeters, but there will be strong northeast winds, and that will produce blowing snow through the day on Sunday. So rough travel ahead.
So we see how it all plays out. Two system merging, Chris, and then Saturday night, as you mentioned, across the Maritimes, cold enough for all snow, by the way, and then Sunday into Monday, you're going to start off your week in Newfoundland, if you're not going away for March break, with some messy weather. And here it is stateside, Mississippi as well as Louisiana, Arkansas, seeing thunderstorms today. That's right. Share your weather time. People are sending me photos on Twitter at Nicole Karkic and using the hashtag share your weather. Then someone gets selected each and every day for a personalized forecast. And today, Brandon, who lives in Brooks, Alberta, is getting a personalized forecast. This was sent to me yesterday. He's showing us the sunset near Brooks. Pretty spectacular shot. So this afternoon, Brandon, here's your forecast. It'll be 15 degrees for the daytime high. We'll see some peaks of sun and some cloud as well. Winds out of the south sustained at 20 kilometers an hour. But as we look ahead, temperatures are on the decline. For Sunday, we're going to see some showers, even a wet rain snow mix at times in southern Alberta. Temperatures do climb up again as we head into next week. Now, for the city of Ottawa, we do have a different forecast for you this afternoon. We're going to see some snow making its way through. This morning, some flurries. Snow picks up into the afternoon. Your daytime high is -2 with winds sustained at 10 kilometers an hour. And through the weekend, we're going to pick up about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. We'll have more on that coming up, as well as our storm watch coverage. But speaking of Ottawa, let's find out why you have to look up this time of year. You might be using a little more Eucerin today than usual in St. John's, Newfoundland. -13 for the daytime high. You are in purple because it is cold, well below average, feeling closer to -24. Toronto's +4, and it's warmer in the west. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Mike. So, yes, we've got cool temperatures to start in southern Ontario and a big system to watch here that's moving into Atlantic Canada. More on that in a moment, but we do have some fog warnings in place for southern Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and it's really cold in Newfoundland. St. John's, Newfoundland, feeling closer to -24 this afternoon. Look at this snow that's passing through Pembroke, south of Val-d'Or. There's a snowfall warning. Ottawa, you'll see some light flurries this morning, and then for the afternoon into that commute, by the evening, snow and rain-snow mix starts to ramp up. So it's messy tonight into tomorrow morning. And as we can see here, Kirkland Lake in a snowfall warning. That's up to 25 centimeters of snow and some nasty freezing rain from Sault Ste. Marie over towards Sioux Lookout, Kenora as well through the day. Northeastern Ontario is going to see the more persistent freezing rain. So that's going to be where the roads are really slick tonight and tomorrow morning. So that's our freezing rain line. But Thunder Bay, rain, warm enough for you that we're going to get some rain moving in, and by the afternoon it's going to change over to rain for Sault Ste. Marie. So indicative of springtime. That's the kind of conditions we have. This is our snowfall forecast. Ottawa about 5 centimeters. Montreal 5 to 10 for you. So today is a break day for many people in Atlantic Canada from messy weather. We do have an extreme cold warning for the northern peninsula east, and we do have in Antigonish seeing about 20 centimeters of snow so far with some squalls, as well as places like Charlottetown where we're seeing just some bands with those northwesterly winds. But the big main event comes through tomorrow night. We're going to see increasing cloud cover Saturday by the late afternoon, and white is where we're going to see the most snow. So that's generally 20 centimeters, could be a little bit more, and then the Avalon Peninsula will get it. In Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, we are about 50 centimeters away from the all-time record. So we've got a storm this weekend, another one next week, so we could reach the #1 spot this year. Here's how things play out. Two systems meeting up. This is a Gulf flow that merges and brings us a lot of moisture, staying all as snow for the maritime provinces, and then the snow and the winds pick up in Newfoundland.
Yeah, absolutely. Spring and fall are certainly the fog seasons. You get the big contrast of the air aloft and the ground, or the ground and the water.
That's
Top
right.
stories today, Nicole.
Weather impacting travel to the U.S., so stay with us if you're traveling for March break. Officially 7 days to spring, and another storm heads to Atlantic Canada.
Oh boy, yeah, I guess not feeling too lucky. Friday the 13th, indeed. I know a lot of the country is either experiencing spring weather or has been or will be, and then we're It's like we're right into the winter time in parts of the east. And also, Mayo, Yukon, looking at snowfall, about 10 to 15 centimeters of snow today. I think the ones around Haines Junction, South Klondike, that should be tapering off through today.
And speaking of fog advisory in place, Saskatoon down to Regina, Melita included as well. So clearing out into the afternoon as temperatures get well above the freezing mark.
Yes, absolutely. And then the freezing rain. There's a large warm front that's just arcing right across the upper Great Lakes. North of there, we're getting, near that warm front, some freezing rain. And then north of that, of course, Nicole, some heavy amounts of snow.
Yes.
South of there, temperatures are going to be, once again, seasonal or above seasonal.
And we've got this snowfall warning in place, Kirkland Lake, south of Val-d'Or, up to 20 centimeters for some. And we do have some snow squall warnings in place for the Maritime provinces and an extreme cold warning.
Uh,
Some school closures in Antigonish County because of the snow squalls. Our storm watch coverage begins right now.
Beginning Saturday night, this storm moves into Atlantic Canada, so another one to watch. Anything in white, 20 centimeters or more, strong winds, and then the Avalon Peninsula Sunday night into Monday. This will be messy, Chris.
That's right, and we always talk about Sheila's brush every time this year. I don't know if this one's going to be Sheila or there's another system potentially Tuesday into Wednesday for the Avalon, so we'll watch that. But this could be high impact, strong winds, blowing snow, again, as you mentioned, Saturday night into Sunday. And it's going to be a two-part storm system, one down in the U.S. and this one here in Ontario, and you can see some of that snow is in blue, the green is in, or the rain is in green.
He's obviously good at it. Good at everything. Thanks so much, Mike. We'll check in with him again. What a great way to spend the day if you're staying home for March break next week in southern Ontario or parts of Atlantic Canada. Cross-country skiing. There's a good idea. We've got this Gulf low that we're following, which will merge and bring us some snow in Atlantic Canada. We'll talk about that in a moment, but there are some fog advisories in place. Saskatoon to Regina. Melita is included as well at this point. And there's snow in Ontario, moving into Quebec as well. South of Val-d'Or, there's a snowfall warning. Around Pembroke, we're seeing that snow. It will make its way into Ottawa. You're just seeing light flurries this morning, but by later on, think about 4 o'clock, the snow will pick up again, and that will bring you about 5 centimeters into tomorrow, mixed in with rain, so it's very messy. Kirkland Lake up to 25 centimeters of snow. Sault Ste. Marie, freezing rain over towards Kenora as the day goes on, and anywhere marked in pink sees that freezing rain. But note by the afternoon, evening, that warm front rides a little north, so Sault Ste. Marie in the green. So that's rain. That's this time of year. We're seeing rain, freezing rain. It's just the transition season. There's that Kirkland Lake snow, and Montreal, 5 to 10 centimeters for you. Let's start our storm watch right now. So for Friday, we've got some warnings in place for Atlantic Canada. Extreme cold for St. Anthony, feels closer to minus 30 this morning. St. John's not in the warning, but it feels closer to minus 24 for you into the afternoon. It is frigid, probably your coldest day today of the season. And as we look here, we've got parts of Nova Scotia and PEI under a snow squall warning. So a very quick 2 to 5 centimeters of snow. Antigonish is in a snow squall warning where schools are closed today. Then this system comes through for tomorrow night, and we're going to see anywhere from 20 to 40 centimeters on the high end. So centimeters more to go before you reach the all-time record. So St. John, New Brunswick, we've got a storm this weekend for you, and then one on Tuesday. So we could be topping the #1 spot by the end of the week. This is the two systems merging. Saturday night, the Maritime provinces, all snow for the Avalon Peninsula Sunday night into Monday, and then that system passes by you, so you miss the one. A lot of people off today with a PA day, so you might be getting out into the airports, traveling. And if you are traveling stateside, keep in mind that Mississippi, Arkansas, and parts of Louisiana do have the risk for thunderstorms today, just with that big Gulf low. Stay with us. More on our storm watch coverage and how much snow we're seeing in Atlantic Canada. Another winter storm for Atlantic Canada as we head into the weekend. Saturday night, the snow begins to fall across the Maritime provinces. Anything in white seeing the highest amounts, 20 centimeters or more. Then Sunday night through to Monday, that's when it heads towards you in Newfoundland, with the Avalon picking up a moderate amount of snow. Snow into Ontario today. We've got anything in white seeing 20 to 30 centimeters. Montreal, 5 to 10 centimeters beginning this evening through tomorrow, and some patchy freezing rain in northwestern Ontario.
Back to you guys in the studio.
That's not a wipeout. You're doing great.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding.
Great.
There you go. Top stories today, Nicole.
Weather impacts travel to the U.S., so if you're traveling stateside for March break, we'll tell you about that.
Yeah.
Officially 7 days until spring.
Yes.
Oh, that feels good. And another storm headed to Atlantic Canada.
Absolutely. Our storm watch coverage, we'll get to all of that. I just want to mention that at Pearson, looks like normal winter operations, so that's good news. Just international flights get there 3 hours ahead of time.
Right.
Not seeing any real big delays out of Halifax either. It's cold in Atlantic
Yes.
Canada. Actually, you can see the clouds here. Those are some snow squalls, even though there's a lot of ice out there. In Antigonish, the public schools are closed there. We've had reports of about 20 centimeters down, so some poor visibility.
Exactly.
Yes.
And let's take a zoomed-in look here at what's going on. Snow moving into Ottawa. By about 4 o'clock this afternoon, it starts to really pick up and continues through the evening. But we'll see some mixing in there as well. Pembroke and south of Val-d'Or, heavier snow with a snowfall warning in place, including Kirkland Lake.
Freezing rain warnings from Gogama and Sault Ste. Marie and Elliott Lake all the way back towards Kenora. It's been warm enough for some light rain this morning in and around Winnipeg. And as that little batch moves into Kenora, it could be some freezing rain this morning.
Right.
Just watch the drive. It's dicey out there. Take your time. Snow today and then more snow tomorrow. So this is a prolonged period of snow. That's why we may see 20 centimeters.
And Montreal, 5 to 10 centimeters for you beginning this evening. And our storm watch coverage begins with what's happening today, which is not the main event, but certainly of note. Extreme cold warnings, northern peninsula east, and there's the snow squall warnings that you alluded to in parts of the Maritimes.
St. John's has been about minus 14 core temp this morning, feeling like minus 25. So as we take a look at what's going to be coming, this map here shows you the best chance of seeing about 20 centimeters of snow. That's areas in white, so southern New Brunswick, much of central Nova Scotia, including, of course, Halifax, and then a moderate chance in eastern Newfoundland. So this is Saturday night, Sunday, and this is Sunday afternoon into Monday for eastern Newfoundland.
I want to see your video from this weekend. And here's the thing, St. John, New Brunswick, you're about 30 centimeters away from the all-time record.
Yeah.
We've got a storm this weekend, possibly one next week, so
it could get close. I don't think we're going to get 30 centimeters in St. John in this one, but it's certainly one to watch. You can watch the blowing snow, and then here's the next one. And this again will bring rain and snow into Ottawa and likely Montreal. And there's some rain down towards the U.S. Traveling I-75, you'll run into some rain showers and thunderstorms down by the Gulf.
All right, and then that moves into the Carolinas as we head into tomorrow. Really missing most of Florida.
It's for everybody as well. If you can ride a bike, you can ride a fat bike.
So, Nicole, there's no excuse to not exercise in the winter if you're spending time at Horseshoe Resort.
Good idea. So for staycations this week, heading into March break in Ontario, you can go cross-country skiing, you can go fat biking as well. I've never even heard of that. Look at this Gulf low that we're following. That's moving into Atlantic Canada tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a moment. There are some fog advisories in place for Saskatoon, down towards Regina, Melita as well. And for Ontario, there is some snow. It's staying towards the north, moving into Pembroke, though. And it will move into Ottawa for this afternoon and evening, but it'll be a bit of a rain-snow mix, so really messy into tomorrow. Montreal, it's going to stay as snow for you with a general 5 to 10 centimeters. And there is some freezing rain as well, picking up around Sault Ste. Marie, over towards Kenora and Sioux Lookout. It will be a little bit more patchy as the day goes on. And Kirkland Lake in a snowfall warning with up to 25 centimeters on the way today, right into tomorrow morning. If you're going to be in cottage country, so Barrie, those ski hills getting a bit of snow, but it's just about a trace. And then there's that snowfall from Montreal over towards Quebec City. Again, 5 to 10 centimeters tonight into tomorrow. Our storm watch coverage begins right now. So these are warnings for today, not for the big storm this weekend. We do have a snow squall warning in place for this morning. Antigonish has some school closures because of localized reports of about 20 centimeters of snow. An extreme cold warning for northern peninsula east and St. John's, Newfoundland. Probably your coldest day of the season today with a daytime high forecast to be about minus 15. Ouch. Now, tomorrow night, here's when snow starts to move into the Maritimes. White is seeing the most, possibly 20 centimeters, could be more. And then the Avalon Peninsula gets hit Sunday night into Monday morning. So hopefully you're going to be on March break. This winter, those snow piles have been huge. On the way, Moncton, some more snow. So we could be getting into the #1 spot for snowfall this season in many areas this weekend. We're looking at that system moving in again Saturday night into Sunday. The winds picking up as well. And then the Avalon getting hit Sunday into Monday. Let's take you to Edmonton. As well as tomorrow night, there's going to be a big event as well. It's been mild, though. Edmonton this afternoon is forecast to be 11 degrees, so they have had a little bit of problems with the conditions out there with the ice. We're going to see a push of warmer air. Today, moving into Alberta, we've got some warm air with those yellows, and then tomorrow, all of Saskatchewan will be above the freezing mark. Eventually, you'll get that warm air in Manitoba. And for this evening, for the big event for Red Bull, the temperature is going to be +9. Stay with us as Storm Watch continues.
You think?
March break for many into next week across the east. We've got Ontario heading into March break, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland and Labrador. So this afternoon, St. John's, you might want to get away. -13, feeling closer to -24 with the wind chill with some flurries. It's been March break this week in BC. Vancouver this afternoon will be 17 degrees. But if you're headed to Bahamas, it looks great to me on Saturday. Nassau getting up to 29 with sunshine. Freeport 29 over towards Georgetown, 25 degrees. March break for many into next week across the east. We've got Ontario heading into March break, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland and Labrador. So this afternoon, St. John's, you might want to get away. -13, feeling closer to -24 with the wind chill with some flurries. It's been March break this week in BC. Vancouver this afternoon will be 17 degrees. But if you're headed to Bahamas, it looks great to me on Saturday. Nassau getting up to 29 with sunshine. Freeport 29 over towards Georgetown, 25 degrees.
We should be getting ready for spring, not for another storm like this, but one bearing down on the Maritimes will bring more snow and strong winds Saturday night into Sunday.
The price we have to pay for warmer temperatures this time of year. Ice falling from buildings. It damaged this car, as you can see.
All right, and if skiing is in your plans for the March break, well, Mike Arsenault has a few tips.
I'm doing the classic style. In full disclosure, Nicole, I was practicing for about 10 minutes off camera. I did have a pretty good wipeout, but I seem to be getting the hang of it right now.
If cross-country skiing's not your thing, you could always try tobogganing without your shirt on.
Have a great weekend.